Thank you very much. Thank you, Zaheer, for the kind invitation and inviting us to reflect on South Africa's views on the situation in Gaza. Today marks the 152nd day since 7 October 2023. Since then, about 1,130 Israelis and over 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, of which 12,300 are children. That is over 200 people a day. As South Africa stated in the United Nations General Assembly a few days ago, when is it enough for the world to finally accept that far too many innocent lives have been lost? When do we say, is it time to end this unjust killing? When do we demand a ceasefire? Do some of us want to continue to believe that we need to allow Israel more time to justify its so-called right to defend itself against the population it illegally occupies? When will this stop? This war has clearly shown that for some people, some lives mean more than others. There appears to be an Orwellian justification that some are more equal than others, and therefore some countries are above the law and cannot be sanctioned or stopped from their merciless persecution and genocidal acts. In the context of the violations of international law, South Africa resorted to international judicial mechanisms, including at the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice, to seek justice for the people of Palestine. So as you're aware, we applied to the International Court of Justice as a state party of the Genocide Convention, where we put forward the case that Israel as a state party is violating the terms of the convention. So on 26 January of this year, the court ruled that South Africa's claim that the state of Israel, which is, as I said, a state party to the Genocide Convention, the court found that the case had met the standard of plausibility and ordered Israel inter alia to take action to prevent and punish genocide, incitement to genocide, and to enable the immediate and effective provision of basic services and humanitarian assistance to the besieged people of Gaza. These provisional measures were issued by the court to prevent irreparable and irreversible harm to the rights of Palestinians pending the court's final decision on the case. Regrettably, Israel has not complied with the court's binding order, but has instead escalated its acts against the Palestinian people. On 15 February, following a letter to the court from South Africa in response to Israel's threatened assault on Rafah, the court reminded Israel that the perilous situation in Rafah demands immediate and effective implementation of the provisional measures that the court ordered on the 26th of January. We regret that a month after the provisional measures were issued by the court, Palestinians continue to suffer immeasurably under the occupying power's intensified military operations. We want to reiterate that the provisional measures of the court are directly binding on Israel, which is required pursuant to the court's order and to the Genocide Convention to stop all acts by it that are plausibly genocide. There is clearly no credible basis for Israel to continue to claim that its military actions are in full compliance with international law, including the Genocide Convention. Similarly, in its attacks on civilians, we've stated that, and by taking hostages, South Africa has clearly stated that Hamas has also violated international law and must be held accountable for these actions. We reiterate our call for the immediate release of all hostages. As you may be aware, yesterday South Africa approached the ICJ with an urgent application for the provisional measures that the court ordered on 26 January 2024 to be strengthened to prevent a catastrophic famine in the Gaza Strip. This is in the context of what is occurring, particularly in Rafah. The urgent application has been necessitated by widespread starvation in Gaza, which has claimed the lives of at least 15 children in the past week alone, with the actual numbers believed to be much higher. UN experts, as we've heard in the recent days, have warned that the number of deaths will increase exponentially unless military activities are halted and the blockade is lifted. We want to stress, as I conclude my intervention, that the international community cannot proclaim the importance of international law and the UN Charter in some situations and not in others, as if the rule of law only applies to a select few. For international law to be credible, it has to be uniformly applied and not selective. So I want to conclude by saying that the events of the last month must awaken us to the urgent need for a negotiated settlement towards a two-state solution, which the international community has recognized through numerous UN resolutions. And ultimately, this should allow for the right of self-determination of the Palestinian people to be realized. So I thank you again for allowing us this opportunity to address you, and we're willing to engage further with the panelists. Thank you.